Hello, everybody. My name is Sean, and welcome back to the Dubois Podcast. As always, we are
the boys.
I'm not gonna go for no frills, no what's, no coconuts. We're getting right into the music recommendation, starting with Veronica.
Hello.
What is your
ready.
music recommendation for today?
My music recommendation for today is Last Resort by Papa Roach. This song actually came out, I remember in high school when I was jamming out to this.
You were jamming in high school?
Yeah.
This is middle school for me.
I think I was put onto this like genre of music more so in high school by my group of friends at the time. But I loved this song. I blasted it way too much as a kid. And the fact that it's making a comeback now, not only in what we're going to talk about today, but in other shows that we've seen as well. It just makes my heart happy. I love them. I love their music. I love that song in particular. So definitely check it out.
Mm-hmm. This song was on my parents' party playlist.
Party playlist?
Yeah, so
love
back in
that.
elementary school, because I remember I was the town I was living in at the time. It was back when they were cool and hosted parties. This song would come on a lot.
Were y'all moshing or something?
Well, this was I don't know why this was on the party playlist. No idea. I think they were just throwing songs they liked on it back then.
If we ever have kids, I aspire to be those types of parents because I feel like that'd be so cool. That's the cool house.
Yeah. Little did I know what the song was describing. I was
me
just like,
neither.
Awesome.
I just like the music.
This is my last resort.
Yeah, it's definitely a banger. So make sure you guys check it out.
Facts. Mr. Calvin, what is your recommendation?
My song this week is Devils Never Cry by Power Glove. I think it's just Power Glove.
Yeah, it's like the Power Glove remix.
This one is,
Yeah, it's their version of it. You might have an inkling as to what's going on, but don't worry about it. Really good song. I like this version. I mean, the original is also really great. A little heavy, I think, for what I wanted to recommend, but this one's a nice, softer version, nice in the ears, very calming. Give it a listen. Let us know what you think.
Hell yeah. My music recommendation is the brand new Evanescence song, Afterlife, by Evanescence. As I just said. Evanescence, they're going to put out bangers.
Facts.
Amy Lee, if he ever messes up,
Facts.
I'll always be here.
Can I just say I recognized her voice immediately when she started singing, and
She's
I was
like, Amy
"Oh
Lee."
my god!"
Not even Evanescence.
I was so excited. I literally was so hyped. I love her.
Mhm.
Understandable.
Oh, her music is just
Yes. Yeah, and this song did what it has to do, and you'll know when you listen to it.
Yeah.
That being said, Alex, why don't you go ahead and close us off?
Anchor. My song this week, Hey. Wait, did he already say what the theme was?
No, we did not.
Well, you might be able to tell if you're familiar with the material. And anyway, my song is Ghost by Gunship and Power Glove. Hey! Power Glove. I don't know what they're talking about, but it sounds cool. And in the context with which I heard the song, which we'll talk about, absolute banger is all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Period.
I'm going to say, listen to it.
And if you want to listen to these absolute bangers of songs, there is only one place on the entirety of the internet that you can find them, all collected together in this one special spot. Wow. Only one place. Isn't that crazy? Just one.
That is crazy. Internet's a big place.
And what I could tell you, aside from it just being one place, is where that place is. Would you like to know?
Yes, please.
It is on a special playlist entitled
Yes.
Dubois Music Recommendations. How about you go ahead, go to Spotify, type that in to the search bar and click the playlist. Follow the playlist. Download the playlist and check back every week.
Yoo-hoo.
And you'll get to see anything and everything that we recommend.
And did we say that it's updated every week?
Yeah, updated every week.
Updated every single week. If it's not updated, it's because you're not updated.
Yeah, your Spotify needs to update.
Your Spotify needs to update.
Yeah,
so check your app store or your computer app store or your
Maybe your phone need to update.
Your Spotify.
Who knows?
Yeah, your phone probably got to update. You know, go to sleep, wake up, it'll be there.
Turn it off, turn it back on again.
Exactly.
There you go.
Unplug it, plug it back in.
Anyways, how you guys doing this week?
I'm doing.
Good.
I'm this week.
I'm alive.
Alive? That's good. That's good.
No, I'm cool. I'm bulling,
Oh, yeah.
chilling.
W.
You watch some cool stuff,
Yep. Watch Peak.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
which apparently I found out today that not everybody agrees with. But we'll get into it. We'll get into it.
We'll talk about it.
So I guess then if that's all everybody has to say, we'll jump right in. So
Yeah.
you may have noticed a bit of a theme with our music recommendations.
Yeah.
And if you did, let us know in the comments.
I'll tell you what. Go down in the comments right now and type in what the theme of today's episode is.
You get 3 guesses max.
All right, that's your first guess. Okay, one more. That's your second guess. Okay, one more after that. One more after that, and third guess. Wrong.
Right.
It's Devil May Cry, Netflix 2025. We watched it. We're
Yeah.
here to tell you about it.
Yeah.
However,
Oh,
there are going to probably be some spoilers.
very much so.
Oh, for sure.
So just go take the next 4 hours to watch the show,
Yeah.
True, actually.
and then
yeah.
come back here and
It's
watch
worth
this
it.
this show, and then you'll see what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Or if you don't care about spoilers, if you're that
I
in
respect
tune with the universe that you don't care,
All right.
then feel free to stick around.
Yeah.
So, I understand you fellas have some notes on the show.
Yeah.
Is there
Yeah.
is there anything in particular that sticks out that you wanted to talk about at the very beginning?
I guess before we get into like specific story elements, I think it'd be kind of cool to address like references and Easter eggs that we probably spotted before. Like,
Okay, yeah.
you know, just to kind of get those out of the way. I feel like it'd be so like some things I noticed. Lucia being
Yep.
one of the demon hunters when they were
Yep.
showing.
Sean told me that earlier. I was like,
Yeah, I was like,
nice.
the entire
Yeah,
like
literally,
show.
he kept
that
like
was
pointing
me.
things out,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I
I
was
was
like,
Leonardo
gosh.
DiCaprio that entire
Oh,
show,
yeah.
honestly. Her being there, there was the Mega Man statue.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was in the car when they were driving.
Oh, okay.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, he
there
There was
was
cried.
the
something
fight
like
scene.
right before
He-
that too, where they like said it. I forget what it was though.
The Raccoon City thing?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like,
That was another one, the
hey.
Raccoon
Raccoon
City,
City
which I
job.
don't know the reference. I don't know if there was a thing about it or if it was just like they were just mentioning it.
Yeah, it was just
Yeah.
Dante was like talking about a job with the
Yeah.
little
Okay.
short guy, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, like that
Enzo-
Raccoon City job." Enzo.
Yeah.
Enzo like that.
My
Don't
fault.
do Enzo
I
like that.
forgot what his name was.
Come on, bro.
Enzo's my
How
guy,
dare
bro.
you.
Okay.
Um,
Sorry, I know I'm cool with him. I just forgot his name.
there was the Street Fighter reference when he got pushed to the
Yeah.
machine. He was like,
Mhm.
perfect.
Yep.
Which technically it wasn't perfect anyway. Well,
Yeah.
he heals up technically. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, that count?
What
Okay.
else did it like reference? Do you guys remember any off the top of your head?
is Dark Calm in the games?
I don't.
Not that
I'm saying because
so.
like Dark Calm, I was like Capcom, kinda,
It could be something
Yeah.
kinda,
yeah.
but like you know, I don't know. I feel like there's one other. My very loosey goosey notes here.
I don't personally remember.
Yeah, I
any
don't remember
other-
all like that,
There,
but
there are
Easter
other
eggs.
ones that I'll
Well,
probably
I
bring up
guess
as we
I mean
talk about
they're
it.
like
but
game Easter eggs.
Yeah.
So like Agni and
Rudra.
Rudra.
Yep.
Those are you fight them in Devil May Cry 3.
With the two like Oni
The two
brothers.
twins, yeah.
Yeah.
You fight them and get their weapons and
Well, technically the bosses, all of them
were bosses.
except for
yeah,
the one
'cause
with the wings. I don't know where he's from
He
because I
might-
thought it was Nilo Angelo, but it's
There's-
I
not.
thought so too.
We'll
Yeah.
get to that.
Yeah, I
there's
know.
there's like a solid chance that that's the guy that you fight for the motorcycle weapon in 5.
Yeah, you
I
might
don't
be
know for
right,
sure,
but
but-
it's a little weird if so.
Yeah. But yeah, the flower lady, she's in 4, I believe.
Yeah, she's the
Come on.
you fight as both Dante and Virgil now.
Oh,
so
okay,
she's
so
from
yeah.
4. You got Agni and Rudra from 3.
Yep.
You got I think it is a motorcycle guy because he had a purple sword as
Yeah.
well.
Mhm.
So you got 5. I don't know if there was a reference to 2 or 1.
Probably not. They like people. The helicopter.
Yeah.
That's a reference to 2.
Yep. I guess 1 being the sword.
The sword. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mundus being mentioned, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really.
I think that's
really
most of
about
them
it,
that I
yeah.
said spotted.
Hell yeah, dude.
Very
Very cool. Very good.
Yes. So I will just to get this out of the way, so that we could gush about the show after.
Yes.
Anything that anybody wasn't a huge fan of, or didn't like, or nitpicks, or anything like that.
I just wish there was more episodes.
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
real
Yeah,
disrespectful
why didn't season 2 drop like
that
yesterday?
we only got
Come on,
8,
bro.
and they
Oh
were
my God,
only
bro.
a half an hour.
Facts.
Do better.
More of a nitpick for me. I do think I like the demons designs in this. I do think it would have been cool to reference some of the games by having like the Reaper demons from 3 or like the puppet ones from 4. Just more of like demons we have seen instead of just like whatever comes to mind. Because I know this was made by the guy who made Castlevania, and that's got demons too, and like those are cool. And I feel like what was in the show kind of leaned more towards that than like what's more native to DMC besides like the ones straight from the games. But like I said, nitpick. It doesn't bring my score up or down or anything. Would have been cool to see more reference to that, or even just like I don't know. I love the Reaper boss that you fight in DMC 3, like the with that weird ass howl that it does. Would have been cool to see it pop up, but
hey, more
I'll
seasons.
be right.
Hopefully.
Hey, if you hear this, put it in season 2, and you got me.
Yep. There you go. Anybody else?
Not that I can particularly think. That the demon killing bullets picked and choose when they want it to be useful.
Yes. Yeah, that's fair.
The only other.
That's true. I didn't think about that. Yeah. There were some excuses for some of them, but others I'm like, I just saw that demon get shot 10 times.
Yeah. What's going on?
Not a single one blew up.
Low key. But other than that, not really. No.
One thing I missed on my first watch that when I went back to watch one of the episodes, I saw is they shot him in the arm, the rabbit, and then when it like healed up, it was like a human arm. I'd never noticed that.
I saw that. I was like, I told her, I was like, why he got a human arm? But I was like, hey, maybe he's a demon. Like it's a weird thing. Whatever. I'll let it go.
Yeah, I didn't like think about it too deep. I was just like, oh, maybe he just got like a regular kind of body, but like the demon head. I don't know what's going on. I was like, there's more to it than that. Once I saw like the little thing.
I had noticed like some oddities, I feel like, in his face though, so I was like I didn't know though if it was like it looked like suture stitches or if it looked like just like the way that his character was designed. So I was like I wonder, right, like I wonder if that was like intentional or if that was like something more behind it. So obviously we'll talk more about that, but it was interesting. I really liked it.
Sorry, I'm just thinking about it.
I think so. I briefly talked about this before the podcast. One thing that's like a little bit of a nitpick is it feels like they gave some of Nero's stuff to Dante, namely Devil Trigger. That's the one most people are talking about. I think people complaining about it as if it's like the end of the world are doing a little too much. But I do understand where it comes from because of how important that song is to Nero. I understand that it's also Dante awakening his Devil Trigger for the first time, so it's like similar thing there. But it would have been nice if there were some more Dante-centric music as opposed to... I mean, I know people probably know about like 5 and stuff that are watching it since it's the most recent one. So them using Bury the Light and Devil Trigger, like I understand that.
Like, hey, I know that song.
Yeah, exactly. But it would have been cool. It just would have been cool if and obviously is Johnny Young Bosch is Nero's voice actor, so Dante has that as well. But again, those are just like minor nitpicks that don't really affect the quality of the show, in my opinion. It's just something that I think it's worth noting.
Anything bad?
Anything bad? It's crazy. I spent all these few days thinking about it, and now I'm drawing a blank. This is why I write stuff down.
That's why I thought you would have had
one time. I decided not to. I've been thinking about it a whole lot. All right, so this will probably lead into a conversation about this character.
Okay.
This has to do with the Virgil reveal.
I wanted to talk about that, but I was waiting for you to
bring it to the end first, okay?
Yes, because this is.
We're going
talking about the first time.
I'm talking about all of them.
Okay. I want to address something about the first one after you say your piece.
Now I'm interested to hear your. I'm interested to hear your opinion as somebody who is not know about the games, and how that reveal and everything kind of worked for you. Here, if you want to go into that now.
No, go ahead.
No, feel free. Go into it now.
So I found it. Hold on. Sorry, guys. So I found it kind of interesting because one thing that I didn't realize until afterwards that Calvin actually pointed out was when the plasma demon showed up as him. He like later on in the series had mentioned how he can only pretend to be somebody who's alive, and that's when it clicked because I had suspicion. Calvin had pointed it out to me, and I had suspicion that the black and red demon was him because I know some of the lore, I know a little bit about what happens. So I was like, maybe that's him. I didn't expect him to be the one that he actually was. But I like it was very interesting to me because like I didn't catch that in the beginning. I was like, oh, like I know who Virgil is and like his story. So like I was like, okay, like they're introducing him a little early. But then when they showed that it was the plasma demon, I was like, okay, like it's just a trick. They're trying to get you. And then after when it finally happened, I was like, oh, like they're introducing him like now. Like I was a little shocked. I thought maybe it was like a little early, but like I understand that they're going in a different direction, like kind of Calvin was saying in this, but I thought it was really cool. And I wouldn't have put the connection together until he said something afterwards, because it's like that is a piece of information that it's like, oh, wow, like I would not have registered that beforehand until afterwards and after they had gotten the blood, because I would have thought maybe the blood had came from somewhere else, like maybe it had come from like a lab or something that they had, and like that's how they got it. So I thought it was really, really cool, like how they did it, but I was interested that they did it in the fashion that they did. Like I wasn't really expecting that as soon as they did. I was thinking maybe like season 2 midway they would reveal him and like reveal what's happening, but I was like, oh, okay, we going, and that's it. So I'm very interested. I really liked this series.
Yeah.
That's kind of fire. I didn't even think
Yeah.
that. That's just a random throwaway. Like, why show up as Virgil? But then I was like, okay.
I had, so they showed in the initial trailer that Virgil shows up, and it's like, whoa, that's Virgil. And then when that trailer came out, I was like, I wish they did not show that, because I'd rather not know that Virgil's in it.
Yeah.
Then when they showed the clip, that full scene before the show came out, they showed that Virgil then turns into that blue plasma demon.
But I missed that. I didn't see that trailer.
Yeah, they put that one out a few, like, I think a week or so before the show came out, something like that. When I saw that scene, I got mad because I was like, so the Virgil reveal there is just trailer bait, but also it doesn't make sense. Like I think I said in the group chat or to you, I said something about the trailer will make me mad, but I'm going to wait until the end to see how it plays out. Because if Virgil didn't show up at all throughout the first season, I would have been upset because it wouldn't have made sense. Yeah. So, but whenever he showed up as Virgil, I was waiting for him to explain how his ability works. The entire time out, that's why I caught it instantly whenever he talked about it.
When he said it, I heard it, but like it went over my head about the Virgil thing.
Mine too.
So when the show finished, I was like, bro, they said it like that long ago.
I
think it was a nice little drop for like people that were paying attention heavily.
Exactly.
But also like something that could go over your head if you were just like caught up in the action. So
that was me.
I was waiting for it because I was like, I thought initially I was like, oh, maybe it works off of like the memory of the person.
Yeah.
But then I was like, that wouldn't make sense because even Dante is like, he showed up in an outfit that he would never wear or something like that.
That was the thing.
And also like his flashback was to him dying as a child.
Yeah.
So like,
technically we never saw like the Virgil's death either.
No, I'm saying if it were to work off of Dante's memory, Dante wouldn't know what Virgil looks like for the blue monster to turn into that thing.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, okay, so that wouldn't make sense. So that's why I was like, I'm waiting to see how he explains how his powers work. And then when he was like, well, I gotta wait till they're alive. I mean, make sure they're alive to trade it. I was like, okay. So now I know Virgil's here somewhere.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of kept going throughout the show. And then when episode 7 started and he was talking to that horned demon, I was like, hold on a minute.
Wait a minute.
I knew who that was.
That guy looks,
immediately.
I know exactly who that
I know your government.
I was like, I know that blue glow anywhere.
And then, so the show did this thing where if you're not familiar with the series, I think it works.
Yeah.
But if you are familiar with the games, if you've played like 1 and 3,
or even
it's really not a surprise. At least for me, it wasn't a surprise at all.
Yeah.
Because like
it was basically him confirming it.
Yeah, like in the beginning of episode 7, the rabbit guy was like, I know how you got Virgil's necklace, and I also know how you got his blood. And I was like, oh, so they're just basically just like,
thanks.
no, yeah, that's him. Yeah. It was very like very much telling you what the case was. So that being said, I still truly believe that him turning into Virgil was like mostly like trailer bait, and I'm not a huge fan of that because I think it would have been so much cooler if even people who played the games had to put that together, that Virgil was the guy in the armor that he met with in episode 7.
Yeah.
Especially because then at the end, even for game players, when he does become like reveal himself as Virgil, then it's like, oh,
Yeah.
I mean, for me personally, playing the games, let's just say like he never showed up as Virgil in the beginning.
Mhm.
Seeing the guy that Peter Rabbit met up with,
Yeah.
I knew immediately because I was like, I mean, I also played the games not that like last year, I think, like again. I knew that was like Nilo Angelo, which obviously his real identity is Virgil.
Yeah.
So like I was able to piece that before. He was like, I know you got this stuff.
Yeah,
I know who you are. Your
Yeah.
secret
Yeah, like
identity.
the second you see him, I'm like,
Yeah, so it's like, okay.
wait a minute. Yeah.
But they
But-
did have you. Sorry
No,
to
you're
cut you
good.
off. They did have you though for a minute. I feel with like not knowing whether it was who it actually was versus like it being the black
Yeah.
and red
Yeah.
guy. Because at first,
At first
I
I thought that
genuinely
was him
thought it
too.
was
I
him.
thought
I
it
was
was
like,
him.
I know
I
that
was
like.
like,
Right. I was like, I wonder. But like,
Yeah.
it'd be interesting to have him like on the battlefront on the foreground. So I was like, I wonder what's happening here.
Yeah. And, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, I think the reason. So I guess to go back to the reason why I think I completely disregarded the whole like they have to be alive thing was because whenever Dante was like, oh, should have was my brother, but he didn't look like, or like he like a pale imitation of what like he should have looked like or whatever. Like he would never, like he shouldn't look like that, something like that. Whatever he
Yeah.
said. So I was just like, that's all I need to hear. Completely, I was just like,
It got me.
yeah. But so like them like doing that and then later explaining his powers is kind of like if you're paying attention, hey,
Yeah.
that's kind of cool.
By the way, sorry to interrupt. Attack on Titan, that's how you're supposed to do it, by the way. Not this nonsense of like, we're just not going to tell you all the information and then be like, no, it was actually there the whole time. No, that's how you do it. Anyways, go
Yikes.
continue.
Damn.
Oh, my fault.
No, you're good. Damn.
They're like-
So yes, at first I thought I was like, oh, the winged. I think it's even in here. I was like, oh,
I think
winged
his name's
homie.
Cavalier. I think is what I heard them say.
Oh, what's his name? Cavalier?
Yeah,
Okay,
so that
so
is the guy.
that is the
Yeah,
one.
Oh,
they
yeah,
say
yeah.
it like once, and I was like, "That's not
Oh.
who I thought it was." But okay, I was like, "It's not him."
Yeah. All I remember was when they were fighting on the roof, and then he threw his homeboy at him, and the homeboy was like, "Commander!" and then he sliced him in half right away. I was like, and then he turned into fucking. I was crazy.
Bro, yeah, sure.
yeah.
That was crazy.
But so I thought it was him at first, and then they showed the.
The guy.
Yeah, I said it's not winged homie, it's helmet homie, whatever I said. And then at first, I think my problem with that was I was telling you about it was that like they lingered on him, like they showed too much of him.
Yeah.
I think like
Yeah,
if they
it
kept
should have been
kind
like-
of, mysterious or something.
Yeah, like maybe like a chain,
Yeah,
like chest
something.
level or
even,
something,
like
or
show
just
like
hands.
2 seconds or something.
Yeah,
I also think the rabbit shouldn't have so
up just been like,
explicitly
yeah.
been like, I know who you are and how you got this. I
Yeah.
feel like he should have just been, I think he should have probably just been like, even if he did know, been like, oh, how did you come into getting all this stuff?
Yeah.
Or something to
Yeah.
that effect to keep
think
it
that-
more of a mystery.
I think that's also like that kind of thing is alluding to like White Rabbit. What he's doing, like he knows who he is, he knows who he's working for, but he's like, I have my own mission. It's like, yeah, I know, like you are technically my enemy, but like I'm gonna just take this anyways, and like whatever, I don't care.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we know he does not rock with Mundus because he
Yeah.
like
True.
called him out for like the tyrant and all this stuff.
True.
And by default does not
Absolutely.
mess with Virgil.
That's
But I wanted to talk about the actual Virgil reveal real quick because
keep that in mind. Whatever you're gonna say.
I didn't necessarily like that he became Virgil the way he did because, which I mean, I will say this, like I know lore is different in this, and I'm totally okay with that because it's its own project. I don't want it to be exactly the game.
Yeah.
But I know like Nilo Angelo is like a servant of Mundus, and like Virgil doesn't control himself in that. So it's a little weird that he just like was like, yeah, I'm Virgil
actually
now.
Virgil, guys.
Because then I'm assuming in season 2 we'll see his devil trigger, which isn't going to be the armor and all that stuff.
So
So it's like, what's the
have him
point of
having
having
two, like, double
him?
forms of-
Yeah, like it's supposed to be like this is like corrupted, like servant Virgil versus like Virgil in his own state of mind.
Yeah.
So there's no like distinction between the two.
Yeah.
So it was a little weird, but like it's not that big of a deal for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, what you were saying.
Jeez, you said
You're supposed to hang on.
You said to keep in mind, and I did not. Damn.
Was it about the rabbit like knowing who he's working for?
Yeah, kind of. It was something else too, but it was I don't remember. But go to that. So then how? Because I know like during that reveal, he was like, "Wonder saved me," and whatever. So like,
Yeah.
I imagine even when he's Virgil, he's still gonna rock with Mundus.
Yeah, which is kind of whack.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you know the lore?
Not quite with Virgil.
I'll give a quick recap.
Whatever's in 5
So-
is what I know.
Yeah, so in DMC
We in 1
3,
a little bit.
at the end of DMC 3, they go to like hell. They fight Arkham together because they're like, this guy sucks. He's trying to claim our dad's power. Then Virgil, being the power-hungry loser that he is like, fight me, Dante. And then Dante whoops his ass as usual. And then him being emo's like, I'm staying in the demon realm because I'm emo. And then he sees Mundus and he's like, I'm the son of Sparta. I can beat you.
Yeah.
Gets clapped. Mundus basically turns him to Nilo Angelo, who then, when Dante fights him in DMC 1, defeats him, and I think that like gets rid of Mundus's control. So he becomes Virgil, but then doesn't show up again. And then I think he doesn't show up again until 5, technically, because I don't think 4 counts.
Yeah, because he didn't really show up in 4.
He was, like,
The only
talking
thing-
That was just like
kind of
it was
thing.
like a
Not
playable
even.
character.
yeah, he didn't even really. The only Virgil thing that canonly shows up in 4 is the Yamato, because that's
Yeah.
that's like Nero's devil trigger
Yeah.
in that game.
So he doesn't show up until 5. Really.
Okay. So then I guess to then go on to that. So then what? Oh, I guess because like Mundus also wants to extend his reach or whatever. So I'm saying, why would Virgil help out B-Rab for real? Like actively just give him his stuff, like the necklace and his blood to open the things. But I guess if he's working for Mundus is like, Earthrealm kind of cool too for real.
Yeah, because Sparta sealed it off to stop Mundus.
Yeah,
so
that makes
like,
sense. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. All right, hey, I'm caught up.
Them showing like Sparta's sword, I didn't expect
So
it to
early,
be so
or
early.
like in this season, I was like,
Yeah.
oh wow,
Like the full form?
form
Yeah.
of
I
Sparta's
didn't
sword. I
expect that
didn't
at all.
expect them to show it off
That was
so soon
episode
in the
8.
series.
No,
I'm saying like in season 1
early
in
in the
general.
story.
Just because like Sparta's
Well-
sword is a very important like artifact
Yeah.
throughout every single game.
Yeah.
So like them showing it and like it being like a thing so soon,
Yeah.
I was just very surprised.
Yeah, I was
I think
like,
it's
oh.
only because like it is the key, and like they're like, we
Yeah.
got to make sure we get the portal open so we can
That's
show
true.
like what the threat actually is.
Yeah.
So I guess that's
yeah.
that's like the only counter argument I could think of to that. But I agree, it could have waited a little bit.
Yeah, like, am I mad that it showed up early? Not really. Like, I think it's fine. I'm more surprised that they're showing it as soon as they are. I guess.
Yeah.
Than anything.
Well, it's already locked up. You know,
True.
Already it's gone.
Also,
Bro,
lady,
oh
lady,
my
what
God,
are you
bro.
doing? Lady,
Yeah.
That was
how many times do you have to like
She made me
get
so
shown
upset with that.
like
yeah.
like how many times are you gonna have to be shown that you're being played
Yeah.
before you like
yeah.
get
Which-
a grip on it? You know what I'm
That's
saying?
that's kind of her
Yeah.
archetype for where she is though. Like that's
Okay.
kind of how she
Yeah.
is in Devil May Cry 3.
made me so
she's
mad.
very much
Bro,
like,
I got
even though
mad.
Dante is like killing these demons and like showing her like, hey, like I'm on your side
Yeah.
technically.
Yeah.
Like we don't have to do this. She still is like, yeah, but
Like
you're
the whole
freaking
time.
demons. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna fight
Like,
you every
oh my
second
God,
I
bro.
get. I gotta kill my dad. Like you know. So like that's. It falls into
Yeah.
that, but
Makes
I
sense.
was also like, lady, lock in, bro.
Yeah.
Like, do you not see this man is just
Yeah.
using you?
Hey, lady.
I was like, oh, we're gonna start Devil May Cry at the end, and then the needle. I was like,
Yeah,
Yup.
bro.
lady, what are you doing,
I
bro?
was like, come on, bro.
Yeah,
That
she
shit
fucked
got
up.
Cube, and I was like, oh man.
No, that I was like, what are we doing here, yo?
the what?
Yeah,
Doing
they
it
showed,
in
they
the,
showed
like,
Dante in
cryogenic
Cube.
Yeah,
sleep.
I was pissed.
Yeah,
So
I
what are
was
you doing,
getting,
bro?
I was getting hot. But yeah, that's kind of the progression of my notes in regards to. I was like, I said Bruce Wayne because the vice president Baines,
Baines.
the voice by. So I was like, Bruce Wayne pissed me off. Then I think I said like Dark.
Bruce Baines.
Yeah. Then I think I said like Dark Com pissing me off. And then I said ladies pissing me off. And then I said
Yeah.
humans pissing me off. And that's like throughout the fucking note.
That one dark
Yeah.
com lady, you know which one.
Ninja.
Ninja.
Yeah.
Is that her
Nightwing
name?
for real.
Yeah. That was
Hit
like
me
her,
up.
her code
Yeah.
name.
I know
Well,
you're dead, but come back to life and hit
Or
me
more
up.
so, technically more so Damien with the swords.
That's true.
Bro, that was
all I'm
like, that's
saying
Robin.
is,
Yeah,
That's
that
literally
literally,
Robin.
I was like, you built like Nightwing. Well, not built like Night, but like face wise.
all I'm saying is when the first dark com shorty got killed, I was like, this is
I
what
was
they're
like,
doing.
ain't no.
Yeah.
I was like, no.
No, I was going through it. I was like,
Yeah.
ain't
I
no
was
way
mad.
finding shit dies first.
I felt so bad because I was like, she was my favorite low key of all of them.
Yeah.
You know?
Cool, yeah. But yeah, no. And then my notes for that scene though, it was like, once again, ain't no way she died first. And then I was like, Dark Com kind of ass for real though. Everybody
They
got
got
clapped
clapped.
up like 30 seconds. I was like,
Yeah.
damn.
Like I guess they're fighting a DMC5
Yeah, like
villain,
the-
so I guess it makes
yeah,
sense.
that's
But like,
true.
damn.
Like they say like
fours.
type 4 or above. Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. Yeah, I guess. But the bullets didn't want to work in that scene, but then they work later.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey,
Is
bro.
what I'm saying.
They're
Anyway,
fighting Type 4s.
my fault. My fault.
Which they did say are like more evolved.
But that's my thing. Is I agree.
No, I know.
But if they then continue to not work in that final fight, I'd be like, damn, you're gonna have to find a new way to do it. But lady's still just shooting them up. And I was like, all right.
I also think with most of them, like Cavalier, he was using his wing to block them, which
He was like, how hard is that wing?
hard.
How you flying with that anyway?
Bro, dragon wings are hard as hell
I
too.
think
I get-
because I think
I
the
get-
whole point of the bullets was if it penetrates them and it gets
Yeah.
inside them, then the little
has to
capsule
touch
breaks.
their blood.
Yeah, that's when it. So if it doesn't penetrate them,
Steve.
pause. Then it doesn't have the effect.
Yeah. But yeah.
Because
Yeah,
especially in that last
I was
fight,
gonna say yeah.
especially in the last fight when they kept shooting at him with the bullets, I was like, why?
Are
They're
we
very
still doing this?
no. I was like, they're
Oh.
very clearly bouncing off of him.
Yeah.
Why are we still trying to shoot him with
yeah,
bullets?
that's what I'm saying. but
So.
but then we're not gonna go into it.
See,
I've
no,
already
because she
said my
shot the
piece.
device.
I said my
She
piece.
shot the
No, I'm talking about
device.
for like some of the other demons.
Oh,
though. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
some of like because like also even with like that plant lady, I think like she got shot a couple times in that first scene, and she was just like oh my arm. But then whenever she shot her, I think like in the chest or whatever it was in the experiment lab, that's when it like worked. I think she shot her a couple times, but even then, I was like, so how do one of these work, one of these not? Anyway,
Interesting. I have to go back and watch because
yeah, I might also be
remember it.
misremembering it,
Yeah.
but yeah, but that little crew of demons, I was like, okay, hold on, no, they kind of
They really
Hey,
just
they
like
kinda cool.
hand picking from like
Look,
different
yeah.
games.
Different games, yeah.
the like red and blue, like the wind and fire. I was at first I was like,
I love them,
goofy
bro.
ass motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And I was like, hold on, no, they kind of.
That's how they are, though. Oh, another like thing from DMC3, 'cause that's where they come from. When you fight them, they just bicker, and so
Oh,
when you beat
nice.
them,
Hell yeah.
their swords are who they become. They have like little heads at the end of them. And Dante literally says, because they're like, "Please take us. Like, you're a great fighter. We want to, help you out."
That's why whenever he shows up and they're like, yeah, he's cool.
Yeah,
Like,
I love that.
And I feel like it's kind of
yeah.
in reference to that.
And Dante's rule is like, he's like, "I'll take you if you just shut the hell up," essentially. And then as soon as he picks him up, does some cool like Dante shit.
Oh
Then they're like start arguing, and he like smacks their heads together to make them stop talking.
yeah.
So that's like their whole thing is like they're just bickering,
Yeah.
but they're brothers,
Yeah.
they're loyal.
Yes, sir. Hell yeah, dude. Goated.
No, that speaking of them, that scene when they were all falling from the plane and Dante was like zipping around,
That was so
putting
cool.
parachutes on people,
Yeah.
and then he like fully unlocked his devil
Yeah.
trigger and started doing his thing. That was very cool.
Yeah.
That was
I
very
want to
cool.
point out,
Mhm.
I have to look at all the devil triggers together.
Mhm.
I fucked with this one heavy.
I
like
like this
it a
one a
they
lot.
they did the thing that needs to be done, which
Yeah.
is the wings.
Yeah,
And when the
the
wings
wings.
go away,
Yeah.
they are his jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even
Perfect.
notice
Yeah.
that.
They come
I
up
didn't
like
notice
the things like for his jacket that he wears, how it comes out a bit. It's like that's how it
Okay.
looks. So it's like a uniformed like outfit essentially.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh,
It was dope.
Which
It was
is
really
really,
cool.
really dope. I fucked with it heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who's-
I think, and it's also very reminiscent of his like True Devil trigger as well.
Yes.
Just in the
yeah.
shapes of the wings and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So I like that a lot.
Yeah. Them being like, you can fly? I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, and that like the first episode and that scene specifically, were when I was like, yeah, no, the animators popped off in the show.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely.
Oh, dude, and
very good.
The art style, dude.
I like it a lot. I love it a lot.
I'm
I
telling
love
you,
how
like,
they changed it like
Yeah.
several
Oh,
times
in
throughout
episode,
the episode
we'll get there.
6.
Oh,
We'll get
yeah.
Anyway.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
I had I'd like to talk about the devil trigger and some notes. I think I pretty much covered the trigger itself, but I also, as we were watching it, I think we got to episode 8, and I'm like, where's the iconic Dante getting stabbed in the chest?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yep.
I need to see it. I haven't
Yeah.
seen it
At
yet.
least
And then it
once,
literally
yeah.
happened like 5 minutes after I
Yeah.
thought about it.
Yep.
I was like, let's go.
Yes,
'Cause that's always a thing. He has to get stabbed.
every
Yeah.
single game.
yeah,
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
single one.
And then he pulls
Yeah.
fire.
Yeah, it's not Dante if he's not getting stabbed in the chest.
Do we want to get into Dante as a character compared to
like
him?
Yeah,
how
let's
they
do,
did it.
Let's do that, and then we're gonna talk about one of the greatest shows of television of all time.
Yeah, I would say I know that's.
Episodes of television.
No.
rather.
So I know we've played the games. You've kind of seen some of what I've played before.
I played. What did you say? The number ended up being technically a collective of 3 games because I
You
played
played 1-5 DMC Devil May Cry.
Devil May Cry, and then half of 4 and half of 1.
Yeah.
So that's one.
So collective of 3 games.
I've played 1, not playing 2,
Yikes.
3, 4, 5, and DMC. I think that's
Okay.
all of them,
Oh,
but
yeah.
2.
I've played 1. I've played like 10% of 2.
Yikes.
I've played maybe 30% of 3.
Yikes.
I've played 75% of 4.
Damn, you never beat
Wow.
before?
No.
Oh, snap.
I forgot you did say that. Yeah,
I didn't have an Xbox growing up,
okay,
so
okay.
I never had the opportunity.
Mhm.
That's your boy too.
Huh?
That's your boy too.
I know, it's my dog.
Big fan.
I've played 5, I think 3 or 4 times.
Damn, I respect it. Hell yeah.
And I played DMC Devil May Cry, the most underrated video game of all time.
Facts.
So.
Facts.
Of all time, I don't know.
Of all time but it's
Tell me one
like
that's
it, though.
more underrated than that.
Pikmin 2.
no. Oh, sorry. Before we get into that, I know he does, but Sparta better know how to fight. On me, Sparta.
Sparta? Oh, I think he's a
He better.
spider.
Well, I guess at this point it don't matter.
Yeah, she's dead.
Yeah. I'm gonna go back in time, and then he better know how to fight. That's it.
Okay.
I was looking through my notes and I forgot. Yeah.
Their daddy.
Yep. They're gonna be all human, kind of whack.
Damn.
They're gonna be biracial.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. Sorry, wait. What are you talking about right now?
Talking about go back in
their
time
mom.
and being
Dante's mom.
being the father of Dante
Yeah.
and Virgil.
Yeah.
You being the father of
Yeah.
Dante and Virgil?
Yeah,
Oh,
she's-
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. I was like, Sparta better know how to.
Holy shit, that was okay. All right, yes, all right. Now
Hopefully
I
you followed
understand
along.
what you're
That
saying.
went, woo!
Yeah, that was the craziest wood like journey I think I've ever went on.
Wood journey.
Back to the Dante, I feel like you should start because you have the least amount of external knowledge of him, and I don't want us to
Influence.
Start.
influence it. What do you think of Dante as his character? Like how he was, from what you saw me playing the video games, how true was he to like the source? I guess.
I mean, I thought he was pretty cool. I thought like style wise for sure from what like I've seen before from other shows and from what you've played, like he definitely matched the style of like how he normally does, which I thought was really cool. And I thought that like his powers were pretty awesome. I liked seeing his devil trigger. I thought that was amazing. Like I really like colors and like vivid colors, and I thought like them using like the lava color of like the red in between I thought was really cool, and like how he had his wings and how they came as like a cape, and like it's really kind of, I feel like it's true to what I know to the lore, and that's what I kind of enjoyed because it's like, okay, like I can pick up on these little references here and there, but I thought it was really cool. Like I thought they did really good, and I'm very excited to see what comes next.
Facts. I agree.
You want to go online?
Yeah.
I think with this kind of gearing more towards DMC3 Dante, I think it did it very well. I know like as he gets older, he kind of loses some of that like quirked up white boy energy.
Yeah.
But hey, that's what happens when you age.
True.
Yeah.
True.
But I do think like he's got the wittiness, he's got the one-liners, he's got the like
He was very funny.
cringy like things that he says after winning a fight. But he also, when it's time to get serious, he does get serious, and that's what's important is that like there are more sides to Dante than just like goofy guy who like fights demons, and I do think they transferred that or showed it really well in the show from beginning to end. Yeah, I guess we'll talk more about like specific things after you guys go, but I personally think they did really well bringing him to the show.
Yeah. And I'll say this with our kind of way that we've experienced Devil May Cry, Calvin probably has the most educated opinion on what Dante is like as a character.
Yeah.
I will say that to me, this was very reminiscent of what I know of Devil May Cry 3 Dante. I will say that for me, it doesn't feel like it's an exact
Yeah.
thing.
Okay.
I do feel like it's a little bit off of what Dante's character is,
Mhm.
but not enough
Mhm.
for the dumbasses online who talk about the
Talk to 'em.
Deadpoolification
Yeah.
of Dante.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I understand that we haven't had any Dante representation, especially young Dante representation, in a very long time. But the problem is that you people have seen Deadpool more recently than you've seen Dante.
That's true.
So because Dante
Immediately, yeah.
is a silly guy who jumps on the same side of the guys who are shooting the bullets, say, who are we shooting at? You see that as a Deadpool thing because Deadpool is more fresh in your mind than Devil May Cry 3
That
Dante
was so
is.
funny.
That was
I love
hilarious.
that.
No, I love that
I
scene.
died.
Yeah.
I was
Nerds-
like, that was amazing.
I love that scene. Nerds Online will tell you that Dante would never do that. And it's like,
That's a lie.
I feel like
And
he
it's
would
not
though.
true. It's like, they'll look at singular scenes of Dante being silly or stupid or cringe or whatever, and then say they ruined Dante.
No.
Dante wouldn't act like this. But the point of Dante is that he has the thing that separates him from Deadpool is the duality of his character.
Yeah.
How he can go from being that silly cringe guy to serious and giving like a more kind of like heartfelt experience of like what he's going on. Which he did. But people won't look at the transition from that. They won't look at both scenes side by side and say neither of these things are what Dante would do. They just look at the silly stuff and they're just like I'm not going to actually engage with the material. I'm just going to look at this stuff and assume that this is all that it is, and therefore they ruined my character. And it's you just got to take a second and look at all of it together and then really be open to the idea that it's not what you think it is.
I mean, but I thought it was I thought it was great because it kind of shows that he's not too serious. Like the very, very beginning, the first episode when he saves the mom and the baby, and he's like trying to like act smooth and cool, and he's like, wait, let me redo it. Like for me, I thought that was really, really funny because like he's trying, but like he's not trying so hard to where it's like, ew, stop, gross.
Yeah.
Like it's not icky. Like it's funny, it's cute, it makes you laugh, and like I feel like his little one-liners, like you said, and his little actions of like shooting on the opposite side, like what are we shooting at? Like things like that, I feel like draw you to the comedic aspect of the show and make it not so serious. And I think that kind of helps like bring a little bit of laughter to it. Like I thought it was great. Like from what I've seen, I feel like it's a little more goofy compared to like what he's done in like other shows, but like I still thought it was cute. Like it was funny, it made you laugh. It's like it's entertaining. It's like, okay, like he doesn't need to be this serious guy, even though the world is shit right now. He can still find joy and laughter, and he can still joke and have a really good time. It's like, why are y'all hating?
Facts.
Not you guys, but like, why are people hating?
Yeah, not our fans. Our fans are
No,
calculated
you guys are the best.
and our fans got good heads on their shoulders.
Yeah.
I got 3 things to bring up because I had one, and then people kept saying things that reminded me of other things. Starting with the other shows thing, I want everyone to remember the other anime for Dante or Devil May Cry is canon. So whether you like it or not, it is canon. It takes place between 1 and 2. 2, with like him, and this has been said, the creator of Devil May Cry 3 had said that like Dante is very new to this. He's not just like the bravado he puts on isn't like he's a macho man. He is actually nervous and anxious, and that's how he deals with it, is with his like witty banter and his quick things. Like that's how he like it helps him get through the fights. And like he said that specifically for Dante and Devil May Cry 3, that's like his way of coping with like the dangerous things that he is doing, which I think is a good thing to remember when you're watching him do this. But also with when you said the Deadpool vacation, I think people are also saying like, because he brings up the word superhero a lot and stuff like that, it takes away. And like, I want to say we don't see the people like in any of the Devil May Cry games. There's never any people. It's just like demons in these desolate places. Even if it's in a city, you don't ever see a human just walking around or needing help. You got to remember, like, if you just had no population, it would kind of take away from it. He is going to save people. That's his nature. He might just be like this guy who wants to kill demons because demons are bad, but he will save people.
But I feel like that adds to his lore, though, because he's like, like you said, he not only is a demon slayer, but he, it humanizes him. It gives him like a purpose. It shows that he's not just doing it to like for himself. He's doing it for other people, and I think that's what separates him and makes him different. Yeah.
So it's like when you play the games, you don't get that feel of like him being a hero in the sense of saving people, but that's what he would do in that that's what he's technically doing every game. He's saving the world.
True.
And I feel like some people are missing that or forgetting that because it's not so prevalent in the games.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are also like so upset with the current kind of like superhero, I guess, zeitgeist. That like they hear something reference the word superhero and they immediately paint it with that same brush. Instead of just understanding that like superhero is like a colloquialism for like someone who does bombastic things for the good of mankind. You know, like they look at it like when he says, "Oh, I'm like a superhero," they think that they paint it with the brush of him saying, "I'm an MCU superhero," instead of just being like a hero that has powers. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, it's I just if people like are so quick and ready to call something bad because it doesn't fully remind them of what they think the character is or even what they know the character to be. So they can't possibly open their mind to the idea of like, maybe this is a slightly different thing.
Yeah.
Maybe this is just something different. Or maybe like that character will evolve into the one that I know.
True.
I'm guilty of this. I've said it before of like the whole like when My Hero was coming out of being like, the thing that sucks is that like I'm so impatient to see what they become because I know like what they are now is interesting, but I want to see what they turn into.
Right.
But a lot of people are kind of caught up in that like the quickness of it and not willing to have the patience to let something naturally grow to become the thing that they want. And so that's something that irks me.
One more thing, because I keep thinking of things.
And then you can get into how you feel.
Sorry. I know, like you said,
I've been waiting.
all these things keep flooding my brain as to like what I remember. But I know someone with the Deadpool comment on Twitter was like, well, it was when he got shot in the chest and then he healed, and they're like, that's Deadpool. It's
Oh
like,
my God, bro.
No, it's
this
Dante.
is a guy that has been stabbed in the chest, like we said, every game.
Yeah.
And what does he do? He rips it out.
Then
The
heals.
wound's gone.
Walks it
Yeah.
off.
This is how he is. Like
That's
Literally
not-
in the first scene in Devil May Cry 3, he gets stabbed like 40 times
Yeah.
and he's fighting with the blade still in him.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like,
Yeah.
this is what he does. Just because heroes also have healing factors doesn't mean that he is,
That's what,
Deadpool or a mutant, you know?
Yeah.
Deadpool is not the first person to have that power.
Yeah. Sorry, Spider-Man Deadpool too? Like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
All right, sorry, Alex. What do you think of Dante?
Ass.
I'm gonna stop talking. No more talking.
No. With my first like real, because obviously I'll bits and pieces from like I don't know, like the Marvel versus Capcom games, but that barely counts. So like my first like real exposure to Dante being in when I first played 5, and then him having that like I'm not mad at it, but like
It's the
very
hat scene.
goofy like dance scene.
Yep, the hat.
Yeah, and then even like, and me being like, what the hell? Like,
What the hell?
But even like in the show, like in the second episode, when you had his like dance revolution little like theme.
That was so
I was
cute.
like, I was like, okay. I'm seeing it.
Did you peep that he missed every single
Yeah,
one?
I'm just but he's doing too much. But no, and I think like at least once again, like I didn't expect them to do like not beginning of his career because he's done jobs, but like beginning of like all of the major demon stuff going on. I thought they'd do like a little more seasoned of a Dante for the show, but I'm not mad at it. So once again, I'm willing to see him kind of grow potentially and like where he goes. But as far as like the very limited knowledge I have from the games, they do like a fairly like good job kind of keeping him to like once again, because I'd imagine he's to cope and to what he goes through, like he is a very like seemingly I don't take things serious kind of guy. So him making a lot of jokes and kind of being goofy, to like it makes sense. But once again, like you said, he does have his moments where he is very serious, and like whenever his family's brought up or whenever like stuff like that, he locks in. You know what I mean? Well, sometimes he locks in, and sometimes he freezes up, but understandable.
I think that's what makes him human, though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Literally. Yeah.
I also don't know how
that's
old
the
he
duality
is.
that I'm talking
Yeah.
about. Those
Exactly.
are the moments that they don't look at.
Yeah.
They just see him being silly, funny guy, and they just like, oh,
Like,
Deadpool's
oh my
silly,
God.
funny guy all the
Yeah.
time. This guy must be like that too.
Yeah.
low-key.
Dante's way better. Like not
Yeah.
not to compare the two, because like obviously they're very, very different. But like I feel like when you're really trying to compare the two, like Dante is more of an original style character, I feel,
Hell
than
yeah.
like Deadpool. I feel
She's
like
spitting right now.
I feel like the way that he acts, and I feel like they really, really did a good job on like humanizing him. Like you said, they really make you like fall in love with him as a person and like almost forget that he has this demon side to him. And it's like when you remember, it's like this demon side doesn't make him inhumane. It's still he like remembers like I have to save these people. Like the first thing that he did when he went into his demon state was save all those people from dying, and like he easily could have let all them die and just not cared, not just been like, well, whatever, not my problem. But he grabbed all the parachutes as he was turning into the demon state. He saved all of them, and like he did whatever he could. He grabbed one of them by his claws, like his feet, like like I feel like that's one thing that people are forgetting. It's like you're trying to compare him to Deadpool because Deadpool's like this goofy, funny, like character, but in reality, like Dante's so much more than that. Like he's a demon hunter, but he's also like a human, and he's very like he shows his human side very often, and I feel like Deadpool is more so like haha hee hee, like joking. You know what I mean? Like it's not very like his human side. Like he does things, but like he doesn't do them not for like other people, because like I can't really say the same about Dante, because most of the things Dante does is like it's not for Dante, but it's like it's for a bigger purpose. But it's like I feel like Dante is overall a better character, and I feel like it's kind of a stretch to compare the two, because like that's basically like comparing Dante to all of Marvel, which is ridiculous.
Real quick, I just want to say she's never played the games, and she just explained Dante way better than any of you online ever have. I want you all to understand that.
Yeah, I've only seen like a little bit of what Calvin's played, like, and I haven't even like fully paid attention to what he's played, but I've only seen a little bit, and like I feel like they really, really show him as a person, as a human, and they make you remember that like he is a person too. Like yes, he's a demon slayer, and yes, he's part demon, but he's also a person, and he's very, very different than Lady and the rest of the people that are there. Like his morals, his mindset, everything. Like even in the end, like he still tried to trust her, even though she kind of fucked him over.
Quick little point, and then we can move on to the next thing.
Your point, and I want to make one real quick.
I also want to say Dante is a devil hunter. I want you to know that he did not kill a single human, because he does not kill humans unless they transform or are like evil, I guess. But even when he fought all those mercenaries, he didn't kill a single one.
No, he knocked them all out.
Brutally injured them. Batman does the same thing though.
They were down for his life. You got to be, if you draw steel, you got to be ready for steel to be drawn. Yeah. Anyway,
I want to say another thing that humanizes him is he's not like just a murderous man.
These are the things that I'm talking about that make him not like different from Deadpool. But nobody.
All
right, sorry. Say your point.
So to go off of that, so like, because Deadpool is very much the character of like, there are no consequences, so I will do whatever the hell I want.
Yeah.
Whereas Dante,
your example, Deadpool would have just let all those people die. Because he did not care.
Exactly.
He would have just killed those mercenaries because it would have been easier.
Exactly. Whereas Dante is very much like, I know that I have this like ability, like these abilities, but like even with when he's talking to Lady after he went to the Devil Trigger the first time, where he's like, I felt all that anger and rage, and I didn't like really like that. Like my dad went through that. But I don't like it, but I know that I could probably use it for good. That's literally like that whole conversation. So like,
it's all in the writing. Y'all are watching.
All of it is there. You just don't want to engage in it because you'd rather be mad. I don't understand.
Watched episode 1 and got pissed.
Facts.
No, you saw clips on Twitter.
And got even worse.
That's literally what it is.
Anyways,
now
that we've all discussed how we feel about Dante, some of us explaining it way better than anybody online has ever explained it.
Thank you.
We're running low on time, but we need to talk about one of the greatest episodes of television I've ever seen. Episode 6. This I think I've said this about Arcane. Episode 7. I think this is still technically behind that episode, only because that episode had a lot to do with love, and I'm a sucker.
It's also, you got 2 seasons leading into it.
Also true. You had also
one season.
That's also very, very true. This episode,
very good.
The only thing that would have made it better is if they didn't talk at all. I love that most of this episode was just music and visuals.
I like the coughing though; it did help.
Yes, that helped. Like that I didn't mind at all.
Okay,
like even like my dad when he walked by, he was like, "What are you watching?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm watching this new show on Netflix called Dubois May Cry." And he's like, "Oh, just like I haven't heard any like talking or anything. Just like, are you just listening to music?" And I was like, "No, this is like part of the episode experience of like feeling of it. Just this is like a prime example of show don't tell. Everything that they showed along with the music and everything that was going on, it perfectly told the story without a single line of dialogue, except for like at the end when that's where like 90% of the dialogue is just at the last like 10 minutes. If there was no dialogue at all, it would have been even better. But it's still amazing. A perfect episode without it.
Yeah, it was A1.
It was fantastic. The duality of the characters and or I don't know if duality is the right word.
No, that's what I was thinking.
Does that work?
Okay. Even parallel.
Yeah, the parallel between the two characters and then how they intersect at the end. And how Lady effectively created the monster that she's now fighting against. And also it's showing like I love the difference in styles.
I love that.
Because in Hell in Mackay, right? the demon realm,
Yeah.
that's where you
That's what-
get
it's
the
more
silly,
cartoony,
Yeah.
nice, comfy, good feeling.
Yes.
Where the real world,
Is-
that's like the gritty, the rough. You look like on people's, like the lines aren't like perfect. They're
Yeah.
like going out like on
Yeah.
my lady's shoulders at one
But
point. Like,
I saw that. I was like,
yeah,
okay,
the style is
Yeah.
rough. It's like even like the blacks are like colored in as
Yeah.
opposed to like solid black.
Yeah.
Like those types of things, and even showing like a more gritty style, more realistic. It presents that kind of thing where it's like the demon realm is happy and fun and a good time,
Yeah.
even though it's even though it's hell.
Yeah.
And the human world is the part that's gritty and dark and bad, and like you see domestic abuse.
Yeah.
Where in the other, in hell, you see a loving family adopting a child that's not even of the same species
Yeah.
as them,
Yeah.
from a
And
different
yeah.
dimension.
And then even
Him
when he
leaving
was still
hell.
in the human world was when he was going through it, and it was in
Yes.
that style. And when oh my god, bro, it was
Yes.
oh my
Yeah,
God,
and
it was
seeing him
fire,
leave
bro.
his hell
Yeah.
to go to Mackay, where he was
Yeah.
really the happiest he probably was
Ever,
able to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he was
Yeah.
accepted and he was loved and he was cared
Yeah.
for
I
in hell.
It was
Like,
it was heartbreaking when his friend died. I knew that like
Yeah.
the minute his friend like started getting sick
Yeah.
and like the purple on him started progressing, I was
Yeah.
like,
I knew-
this is gonna be where his character changes. I had a feeling
Mm-hmm.
like in the very beginning when the episode started, I was like, I wonder if this is the bunny. Like I wonder if this is like what leads into his story, what happens to him. Like at first I thought maybe he like was he transformed into a demon because the mask
Yeah.
I thought
That's what
was
I thought.
originally his
Yeah.
face.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I was like maybe something happened to where he was it mutant or something. But like watching that artistically, like that was art. Like that straight up, that episode was art. Like every single step, every single piece, every single scene where they changed from one style to the other, where they changed for the art style, where he went from being younger to older, where the demons, where they changed, where you see the families and their progressions, where you see the funeral of his friend. Like every single piece of scene in that episode was art. Like that was so amazing. And the way that it was articulated, that really drove home, like you said, the duality of the Easter Bunny. It's kind of like you feel
Bunny.
the Easter Bunny, right? You feel bad for him in a way because it's like you see what drove him to this point. Like when I saw that, I was like, I understand why he did what he did. Like I understand the actions that he took,
yeah.
and I was like, it's unfortunate because I don't want to, but like I get it. And it was so hard because it's like I sympathize with the villain. I was
Yeah.
like, I get
And
it.
he was spitting bars.
Oh,
whenever he said the whole
Yeah.
like when I had to adopt like the tactics of what was done to me
Yep.
to
Yes.
get
like
retribution.
combat was like the
Yes.
worst.
Yeah, exactly.
I was
Yeah.
like,
Yes.
oh my god.
Ah, that's fire.
Yeah.
I had something. Oh, I wanted to point out in that episode, and even before that, anytime they went back to Lady's like childhood, there was that friend.
Yeah.
They never showed what
I was-
happened to him or if like he's still
So
around.
I tried to
That's what
look
I
up
was-
who
yeah.
that was because I feel like it was
It's gotta be
supposed to be somewhat
something.
important. The only thing that the Google AI thing gave me was that it was supposed to be Lucia, but I don't think because it was giving me sources that didn't match up to that at all.
there's
So
no
I don't
way.
believe that right
She-
now.
I mean, I don't know if
'Cause
the
it
lore
also looked
changed.
like a young
but she's
boy.
from like a village. in
Oh
some other
yeah,
place.
so then so like it. I really don't think it is. I'm assuming they're probably just doing that because she showed up in the show. So the AI is
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
God, Lucia mentioned from
Yeah.
the show, so it must be. Yeah.
It's
But yeah, no,
Trish.
I also wanted to know more about that because because the
It
person
was a pretty important character, kind of.
See? like it, yeah.
What I
Like her
theorized
bestie.
is I wonder if like they were playing hide and seek during the time where she saw the incident with her father, and when the fire started, I
Oh.
wonder if he was in their little clubhouse and he died during the
That'd be crazy.
fire because like they were playing hide and seek and he didn't know what was going on and she didn't realize that he was in there because like after that we don't see him.
Yeah.
So I was like, I wonder if that happened or if like something else. Like it's gotta be, I feel like it's gotta be something because like he was around and then he just disappeared.
Yeah, I
And,
just
like-
feel like it's supposed to be important.
Right. And then they showed during the fire, they zoomed in
kept
on the
cutting back to
clubhouse.
it,
So
yeah.
it made me
Yeah,
wonder
okay.
like, what if he was in there and she didn't know?
That'd be crazy.
And that's why now she's like fighting what she's fighting for because she thinks like, oh, I have to avenge my family and my friend who died. So it made me curious. But like episode 6, top fucking tier
man.
episode, man.
It really
like
was.
I think like watching it, like I'm sorry to say this, but like I have really conflicting feeling towards Lady now. I really liked her from what I knew of her and from the lore that I knew, but like it really is making it hard to like her after all that she's done. And like, I understand her being young and not knowing so much, I guess, in the beginning, but it kind of shows now, like, her actions back then had consequences to now, and I feel like she's still making those same decisions, and she's not realizing that, and like, she's gonna realize it, and it's like, is it gonna be too late by the time she realizes it? So that's what it makes me wonder. But I thought it was really good. I was kind of sad to see the bunny die, but like, I kind of understood why he had to die. But episode 6, artwork.
Yeah,
fucking
like,
art.
I'll say the first 5 episodes, like, I thought they were cool, but like, I'm used to anime looking cool, so like, I wasn't like wowed, not in like a way where it was bad. I just wasn't. It didn't exceed expectations, I guess, or what I'm used to. But when it got to that episode, and I was maybe like 5 to 10 minutes in without any dialogue, I was like,
enraptured.
I was like,
honestly,
wait a minute,
you
hold
were
on. Is this
so
going to be the whole
checked
episode?
in.
So I did like a little, you know, like when you hover over the bar and it shows like a little thumbnail. I did maybe like halfway, 3/4 in. I saw it was still that
like
same like
that,
cartoon. So I was like, they do. This isn't just like a flashback that then cuts into the world. This is the whole episode.
They took their time
I was
with
like,
that
that's
episode.
what I'm talking about.
2 references I just remembered. When Lady first joins them, she has her normal
That's
outfit.
what I was saying.
I didn't even notice
That's her OG
I was
outfit.
like,
And then when her dad transforms, he didn't necessarily turn into the Jester, but he had the face of him where it was like the long nose.
Really?
Yeah.
Like not much hair. Yeah, because he is the Jester with 2 colored eyes.
Yeah.
And he didn't have 2 colored eyes originally. It became that way after.
Then he did,
The long nose, the kind of like the grin that he had.
Yeah, he kind of
it
looks
was
like
kind of reminiscent of that, which was kind of a cool little.
That was because I knew he was the Jester.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, I wonder if they're gonna like reference that. But then I saw him just turn into kind of a big creature.
Yeah.
I didn't really like
Big
put those
vampire.
pieces together. But when you talk about it now, it's like, oh, okay.
And instead of sacrificing his wife, he like killed her.
Yeah.
Which I was like, I think that, not desensitized, it's not the word, but I think with watching things like Devilman and other things of that ilk, where I was like that
Tear your
scene,
soul apart.
oh my god, that scene, like where he killed his wife, definitely hit me, but it didn't hit me as hard as it could have. I think.
Yeah,
I think for me, I think I saw it coming with
Well,
like
yeah,
like kind of like the domestic violence type of illusions of like her when they had like the flashback where they were talking when she was like he's like, oh, I gotta defend you guys. She's like, oh yeah, like you did in the subway, and then he like that whole thing. I was like, oh,
she said when she said that, when she said that, I got mad.
I was like,
but she was right. She was right. She was, but I was like, come on, relax.
Hey, he was already throwing away his family.
And I was like,
I kind of felt like I also kind of knew that like her mom died and her dad was a bad guy. So like I also at least from the game, so like I knew
I didn't know that
something was going on, and I knew that. So I think I was expecting it, so I was less surprised by it. For me, I was expecting to feel that way when the squad started dying, but I don't think they endeared us enough to those characters, so that's why
it was
I
very
didn't feel
quick.
it.
But I think like you also said, little desensitized after watching like Berserk and
when you watch
Devilman.
Berserk and Devilman, those set a real
high press,
high bar. That's clear.
I'm not saying I want them to go to that level because I don't want to experience those again.
Not at all.
The thing is I kind of do. Like I'm a bit of a glutton for punishment in that way.
I think for scenes specifically like that, reaching that point, hey, make me feel it. You know what I mean? But just like on some regular,
it's tough.
But very, very good episode. I love like the in like grayscale for the human world, and then it being like
so colorful,
colorful as well. I didn't even talk about that
nice,
during
like
the
when they were
style
in the caves, the nice blues and purples.
Exactly.
And
even
then, like the monsters looking like kind of silly,
a little like not like so scary.
You know what they were? I don't know if you guys have seen it. I've only seen it because of our niece, but the movie Home. It kind of reminded me. It reminded me of the little main character from Home when I saw it, and I was like, oh, like they're cute, like they're lovable. They're designed to like. They don't look like the demons or devils that they're showing now. They're more like. They're more characteristic. You love them.
Speaking of that, sorry
go
to
ahead.
derail everything. Like we were just talking about that feeling of like that Devilman Berserk. I was this close to feeling that level when Bruce Baines ordered the hit on all of the
that got me.
Happened.
Yeah, but I was like, first of all, I was like, lady, why
Yeah.
would you trust
Why would you
that
tell,
that they would just let that stuff go?
literally.
First of all, and then
I mean, they would have almost.
they almost did,
Only
but like,
'cause of stupid-ass
but like,
VP.
I don't know why you would ever trust like the
Yeah.
administration to just let that
Yeah.
type of stuff go.
I don't know, like, he's not here anymore. Wrap it up and let's go home.
Yeah. So, but when that scene happened, I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
That was devastating.
Yeah,
that was devastating.
And then the like goop, I forget his name, goop guy. They said his name, and I forgot what it was.
Was it Plasma?
It might have. I think it was literally just like.
was he in
Plasma,
any
yeah.
of the games?
I thought I remember now.
Yeah. But him like see him at first being like, oh, they're gonna
Maybe
help
two?
them,
Mhm.
but then like when they started
Yeah,
shooting him, and he was
oh
like,
my
oh yeah, no, you
God.
guys are monsters. And then
Dang.
See,
I was
but
like,
it's
oh wow,
I feel it like with him doing that. It was almost like kind of hypocritical.
It-
yeah, I mean,
Because you know what your boss was doing to all these people.
Also
so then
true.
for you to now feel bad when the humans
but
are
I
killing
think,
them,
it was.
it's tough.
Yeah.
Like, I get
I
it, like,
think
it's
he
like you're
lives
seeing
with it
his-
because they were alive. They
See,
were
yeah, I
captive,
think-
but they were alive.
And also like even when the rabbit like tells
like,
all the people
experimenting
that
and
no
all that stuff.
besides
We're
that
talking
like
lady?
well no when he was talking to the refugees and he was like, I'm not saying you have to do anything about it, just don't help her. Like
Yeah,
with
yeah.
that whole thing.
Okay.
He's like, I urge you to do something about
Yeah.
it, but if you don't, that's fine.
Yeah.
But if you're helping her, that will be a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was also kind of alluding to the whole like he's cruel
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he's adopted the strategies,
Yeah.
but he's also not he's not still
cares,
fully
yeah.
a monster.
Right.
Still cares
Which
a little bit.
which I agree because
Yeah.
even when he explained to Lady like his whole reasoning for doing what he did, I get it. But it just felt a little off seeing like the guy who's I do
I
get it because
think-
like you're seeing your own kind just get decimated.
Yeah.
But I don't know. For me, it was like I don't know.
It's a tough thing. I think
Yeah.
it was like a
It is appropriate,
I
I do
think it
think.
was set. It's supposed to be that way.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be
Yeah.
complicated.
For
I
me,
think.
I more so took it as like him being like, oh, maybe there's a chance.
Yeah.
Like him seeing them start to save them, and then him like losing, like immediately losing
He
that
had,
hope
like,
again.
yeah, he had
Then
a
was
little
like,
bit of faith.
Well, fuck it, keep, you know what I mean? So I think
Yeah.
that's for me. Oh,
But I also think it might. I also think it might be important that when they were saving them,
Yes.
he was in the dark calm form.
yeah.
And it was when they revealed themselves
That
to be
he-
monsters
yeah.
that he dropped that
Yeah.
form to then.
That is true.
And then we're
Yeah.
cutting with that, cutting back to episode 6. All I'm saying is, once again, so like after what happened to like the refugees that he brought into the world because of Darkcom happened, and he was like, yeah, no, humans, all of my experiences with humans have been the monstrous ones, where all
Yeah.
of the like my experiences with the demons have been like kind of scary, but like
Pleasant.
like love, like they've shown me love that humans never have. And then he was like, hey, fuck it, and then like sewed the fucking rabbit mask on his body because like I'm not trying to be human anymore. Gas.
I feel like that was
Excellent.
I didn't even put that together either
Yeah.
well, until you said
Yeah.
it like when we were talking
Yeah,
briefly
yeah.
talking about it in the car.
Yes.
And I was
I
like,
feel
that's
like
fire.
that's
No, yeah.
just adding to the duality of like humanity. Like the duality of Dante and the duality of the demons I think are very similar because like there's good and there's bad
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
both sense. And like
True.
clearly humanity kind of is the one that's like the more evil one at the moment. Like they're fucking with things that
I
they
have
don't know.
noticed
Facts.
that I believe Adi Shankar, I think his name
Yeah.
is, something to that effect.
Yeah.
He very much enjoys himself a maybe we're the monsters type of vibe.
Low-key.
Because Castlevania was also
Yeah,
very
that's
similar
true.
in terms
And I
of
do
like,
rock with that.
them burning Dracula's wife alive.
Yeah.
And that whole
And them, the
He knows
twin-
how to make
the
you
twin
feel for the
hunters
villains.
trying to like endear themselves
Yes.
to Alucard to them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That episode pissed me off. Anyway,
so like that, and then obviously this show,
Yeah.
which also this show provided a lot of
yeah.
modern day social commentary.
Yes.
I
And
couldn't
some
help
people
but
weren't
notice.
happy about that.
Some people aren't happy about that. You people suck. You're annoying, and we don't like you anyway, and nobody does.
The parallels are there if you put them there.
Yeah.
Yes, and also just because they're there, even if they are there, that doesn't mean it's bad.
Yeah.
Maybe if it makes you feel weird in your tummy whenever you see it, maybe you
Reflect
should
on that.
reflect on that.
Yeah.
Do some inner work.
Yeah.
But I couldn't help but, when I saw some of that stuff and about like the refugees and how they're painted with this broad brush of being bad, but these people are just trying to escape from their home
Yep.
where they're actively dying.
Yeah.
It's there. There's good people.
Yeah.
Some of them might be bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of these
Yeah.
demons might be bad.
On both sides.
On both sides, but they're
Both
not,
sides?
But they're not. But they're not all bad, and that's what's important. Anyways,
Exactly.
Yeah.
grow up. Grow up.
Period.
Grow
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. Baines. Baines,
I hate
my
him.
greatest op in the show.
I hate him.
Greatest op in the show.
The Lord.
He
The
pissed
Lord
me off
this, the
every
Lord
single
that.
time he
Greatest-
was on the screen.
Greatest op. Love his character type.
Oh, sure.
Devil May
Yeah.
Cry
Yeah.
always has like a religious fanatic
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah, I hated him so much.
Facts.
Yeah, and I love that like he's that kind of like when he's talking about like
His
the Lord supports our mission because I fell from a plane with no parachute and I survived.
it's like no,
Yeah,
Dante
bro.
saved
It's
you
like-
first of
It's
all.
like you were saved by a demon, and like that's the beauty of
Yeah.
it though. Is
Yeah.
like
The blindness.
they take the result of something and attribute it to the Lord's grace when when it's a
When
whole
it
bunch of
was-
different.
yeah.
It was in fact a half demon who
Yeah.
did
Right.
that.
Literally, whenever, also rest in peace to Anders, whenever he like killed Anders and was like, oh, like my Lord save me, whatever, let me know if your devil like does the same, and
Yeah.
he bars.
Bars.
That was,
Yeah.
that was bars,
Bars.
but also it's like once again a demon saved you out the sky. I don't know,
Exactly,
like,
yeah, it's like-
all
yeah,
right, bro.
But that's the beauty of
Yeah.
it. It's the
Yeah.
hypocrisy
demon,
that
the
that's,
Lord,
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
the devil, and then
Yeah.
he did.
Also, I'm not
That
convinced
was
Anders
good.
is dead.
That's good.
No, me
I'm
either.
not
I hope
convinced
not.
he's dead.
I hope not.
He came around too many times. I feel like there's more to
Yeah.
him.
he survived a lot of
Yeah.
wounds.
I feel like if he was supposed to be dead, he would have shot him in the head.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
And,
and he shot like him in the shoulder. Which
Yeah.
so yeah.
But he already has a wound in the other shoulder too,
True.
so
True.
that could be like
Yeah.
a way to
Yeah.
injure him so he can't move his arms because
Yeah.
he can't swim.
True.
How you move your arms?
Yeah.
good point.
I sincerely hope Anders comes back and there's some kind of like retribution, kind of, or like for Anders to Baines or whatever, because
I'm
he's like,
call-
I was trying to save my daughters, dog. He's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Right.
I
That
know
was so
poor
fucked
guy
up. He
condemning
just
the whole
did
world.
not
He's like,
care.
either way, they're like either way. So I respect just a man who loves his kids. I
I
respect
hope
it.
they kill off Baines next season because I hate him.
Speaking of, I don't know. So him once again, that like last like minute of the show where they're moving quick, where they're like
Yeah.
the humans went in,
Yeah.
they were scoping shit out, they were
Yeah.
killing a bunch of demons, and now they have like facilities and stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Like you got
Yeah.
prison and
Well, that's
hell
what I'm
now?
saying.
Damn.
But also that dude when it showed Baines and then it
Yeah.
showed the other dude, is that Mundus?
No, that's not.
Oh, because Mundus is
I
like
feel
a
like
big,
that's gonna be
Yeah.
our new like
Who is
our
that
new
dude?
One is just
villain.
three lights
I
in the
don't.
sky.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I couldn't
Okay.
recognize him based on his
Okay.
face.
I know that there was like a corporation logo behind
You're right.
him.
Wasn't
I
that
forget
also
what it was,
not
like
Darkon?
Neurocore or something like that?
Yeah.
Ew.
I meant to look up to see if that was the thing in the games, but
yeah. Yeah. But
that could be the president, maybe.
Nah.
Oh no, the president was like the
goofy ass
the-
dude.
yeah, goofy fat dude.
fellow Americans.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry to inform you. Like,
Demons
bro.
are real.
Yeah.
yeah, that guy.
But yeah, no. Good, just good. Oh, I like very much so that last fight was very much like a final boss, like hit this weak point, like the glowing red
Yeah.
thing, like a video
It was
game.
very
I was
video
like, I like
game.
that. I
Yeah.
like that a
Yeah.
lot. It's cool.
And I like that they also kept Lady in the fight.
Yeah,
know?
Yeah.
low
Yeah.
key. I like that
At
a
first,
lot.
I was like, "Damn!" Like I want to see Dante pop up, but I was like, "Hey, it's only fair that she's also a badass demon hunter.
True.
You know, she's
True.
allowed to get her moment."
I
But
wish
she better
she hit-
fucking do better next season.
Fact.
I wish
Facts.
I wish Dante
I
got
ain't
to
playing
have
with you, bitch.
got to have a more focused and satisfying jackpot moment.
Yeah.
But you know what?
She
That
had
means-
hers.
That means,
Yeah.
yeah, she got hers. But that just means that it'll happen in the future. So
Hey,
you
I'm
know.
hoping we get the iconic.
Yeah,
Bam,
I think
bam.
it's
Virgil and
interesting
him.
because what
Jackpot.
I'm assuming is going to be the reason why he has Ebony and Ivory is because
He
they're like
doesn't.
indestructible. No, I'm saying
Oh,
like
when
Oh, when he gets them.
gets them,
Yeah, 'cause he keeps
Yeah.
is going to be
crushing his
because
guns.
those are
Yeah.
like indestructible ones that he needs because he keeps every time he
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
And it's
so-
also that like he uses bullets, which is not what he uses in like the games. It's
Yeah.
devil energy.
I didn't even know that.
Me
Yeah,
either.
that's why it's like
That's why he doesn't
unlimited.
reload.
Yeah, it explains that.
Yeah.
Because I saw someone in the comments like, "Oh, does he have ebony and ivory?" And I was like, "Nope, both them guns silver.
Yep.
That's not ebony and
Yeah,
ivory."
like-
Yep. I thought he was going to get him whenever he was like
Yeah.
looking in his apartment, but then I was like, no, I think that's still just a regular
It's
silver.
too soon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because even the creator, he was like, hey, he doesn't have them yet,
Yeah.
Hey.
so don't worry about it.
Yeah, fair.
All right, well,
We got our
time
reviews.
flies when you're having fun.
Facts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a lot to talk about.
So before we end today's episode, we are all going to give our reviews of the season. Let's start. We started with Veronica before.
I started off the music recommendations.
No, yeah, Alex. We'll start with you.
Okay. I think overall, once again, animation was really good. Was very good. The performances were very good, in my opinion. My
agree.
humble opinion. I think for the limited 8
wish.
episode, yeah, like 8 episode, like half an hour episodes that there were. The pacing was good. Pacing was cool. So action, hey, everything was cool. Overall, I don't think it was like. I think the last time we did this was like for Arcane. I don't remember the scoring for that. I think 9 or 10. I don't think it's quite like that level. I don't think once again, you had a lot more time with that. Anyway, so I think I'm going to give this okay. So for like the first season of it, setting things up, kind of introducing us to the world, I think it did a very good job. A lot of the characters are very compelling. Rest in peace, Enzo.
Facts.
Swear.
So low key. I was going through it. I think that I will give it in a vacuum an 8. I think I'll give it an 8. Once again, once like more seasons come out and it kind of becomes more of like an intertwined whatever story, then overall I might like, ew, but for the season alone, I'm gonna give it an 8. I fucked it a lot. I was locked in the entire time, which, as my cohort, my companions here know, it's very tough for me to stay locked in on a show. So, yeah, I'll get it for sure. So I think 8 is my thing.
Okay.
I am going to give season 1 of Devil May Cry.
Yes.
Now, I forgot to mention this at the top of the show.
Yeah.
We've talked about this. If true Dubois heads know, in episode 2, I talked about Devil May Cry is my second favorite game series of all time.
True.
I am in love with Devil May Cry. So, know that I say this with all the love in my heart. My score for Devil May Cry Season 1 is a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
But that is simply because this feels like a very introductory season.
Yeah.
I say this is a 7 out of 10 with the knowledge that Season 2 will knock my socks off. I already know with the setup, with Virgil being involved, I know Season 2 will be absolute gas.
Yeah.
So that's why I give this one a 7 out of 10 for now.
Yeah.
For me, I'm going based off of just finishing this yesterday. So it's definitely like a little biased. I also like DMC has been like one of my favorite games since my childhood. And like piecing all the things together for me was just fun. Like it was a visual experience for me because I got to enjoy like a show with a great story. But for me, it was just like, it felt like watching more than just a show. So for me, and I don't even want to give it this because it feels like I'm cheating it a bit, but I'm going to say a 9.
Okay. Listen,
only,
what you feel it deserves, just go ahead and
only
give it.
because like the animation, spectacular.
Facts.
I have no problems with it at all.
Facts.
The voice acting was amazing. The dialogue, the writing for this was just great. Every person had like these amazing like lines, like who they're talking to. The story was great. It's like a great introductory piece. Not only for people that don't know Devil May Cry, but for people that true fans that know Devil May Cry. It's a good introductory piece for what's to come in season 2. And like I have no issues with it. I have hopes for what's to come in season 2, and I hope that they continue it. Obviously down the line, if I rewatch it or if I maybe talk to someone that doesn't like it as much, maybe I can be persuaded it might change. But I think I'm with a solid 9 right now.
Hell yeah.
Honestly, I'd have to agree. I think like I loved everything about it. I thought it was amazing. The only things that I did not like, Lady was pissed off. She pissed me off with her actions because time and time again, she is not able to put her trust in Dante, but she puts her trust in Bane, and he has proven that he cannot be trusted. And she doesn't realize that. And it's like she keeps making the same mistakes that led her to where she is now. So that made me mad. They did not have to kill off Enzo.
That's what I'm
was
saying.
so fucked up. I was so devastated because like after everything, Dante still cared about him. Dante still like would have taken jobs from him. Dante and him still had a relationship after everything. And it's like Dante cared, like Dante really cared. Like it's really fucked up that they killed him in front of Dante. So I had a qualm with that. And I also think that there should have been more episodes and they should have been longer. But that's just my biased opinion. But I think other than that, it was amazing. Episode 6, I would specifically rate that one a 10 out of 10, like 100 out of 10.
Yes.
That one is, I think, the best episode of the season. I think that, like, artistically, it put everything together. Like, it just, chef's kiss, cherry on top. Like, it did its thing. And I think that really kind of helped, like, push the season into what it is. And I'm very excited to see what happens. So, hurry up and make season 2, please. And thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, I said 9.
Okay.
9.
Yeah.
I meant to also say in my review, for me, like watching this, having a new villain, I was a little worried.
Same.
Only because like it could be whatever. It could be really good. It could be really bad. I have no issues with it. This White
Yeah.
Rabbit was just such a
Fire.
beautifully written character,
Yeah.
a great backstory. I was a little worried that we weren't getting the backstory until episode 6 came out, and it was perfect. Like you have someone that's so like kind of not so evil, but like you get why he's doing what he's doing, and I feel like when you can humanize a villain to the point where you can kind of understand their actions, it really changes the dynamic of like what a villain is versus like stupid ass Banes.
Right.
True villain. But yeah, I had no issues. I watched this beginning to end, enjoying every single second of it.
Yep. I agree.
For sure.
Episode 6 really made me be like, actually, I think I'm on the demon side, actually. Before I was like, I don't know. I see the point on both sides. And episode 6 was like, hey, humans, honestly, get them out of here.
Yeah. Honestly, it kind of makes
We'll
you
talk about it
realize.
after. Anyway.
It does make you think there is so many pieces of media where humanity is just crueler than monsters
Yeah.
are,
Yeah.
Even in mythology.
even in mythology, and it just really makes you wonder,
Yeah.
like, because it's people who are making these stories.
Yeah.
So like, the fact that they have this type of experience to draw from, low-key a little sad.
Yeah. Facts. Unfortunate.
Yeah,
Experience is both a wonderful yet scary thing.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's very true.
Mhm.
Very beautifully said. And with that, we are going to end today's episode of the Dubois Podcast.
Mhm.
Hope you all had a wonderful time.
Yes.
We know we did.
We know we did.
Facts.
You all stay safe.
Yep.
And keep in mind that we are
Dubois.
And yeah, have a good one.
Jackpot.
week.
I was gonna say that.
Jinx.
Play DMT Dubois May Cry. All right, end it.